Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris, and I'm dialing in from Johannesburg, South Africa. And tonight, joining me on the call is Wilson Fury, dialing in from Pretoria, South Africa. And we're going to be sharing with you guys some really exciting information about what to share with people and kind of how to share it with people, because a lot of questions that we get now, Wilson and I, we've been part of LifeWave for over a year and a half now together. We've been walking this journey together, and we've learned a lot on this journey. And, you know, it's one thing to know what to do. That's one thing, but it's also very important to know what not to do, which is so, so important. And what we're going to be sharing tonight is what Wilson just said just now. It's nothing that is set in stone. We're going to just be sharing a guideline to assist you and help you open the door of communication. So I want you to think of it as baking a chocolate cake. Baking a chocolate cake. So we can give you a recipe on exactly step by step how to bake that chocolate cake. Now, we can give it to 10 people, and I can guarantee you at the end of the process, the cakes are going to look different and they're going to taste different. But at the end of the day, as long as you're getting a chocolate cake and it tastes yummy, that's the most important part. Doesn't matter what it looks like, because what's going to happen is I'm baking a cake, Wilson's baking a cake, we're following the recipe, and the phone rings or you get a distraction and you forget to put the extra cocoa. So it's meant to be 3 spoons of this and 4 spoons of that, and you get that back to front. So your cake's going to taste different. Or you forget to put the baking powder. Your chocolate cake's going to look more like a flattened brownie, like a squash cake. But it doesn't matter because you're still getting chocolate cake and it's still going to taste good. So this is a guideline, and you don't have to do it like exactly the way we're putting it. You can bring your own flavor, spice, and most importantly, your personality into it. So where this all started was Wilson and I were talking about what we call a universal voice note that you would send to people. And it can come across the wrong way, like a penguin. You don't want to come across like a stamped out penguin, because we're all different, we're all unique. Our prospects are unique. We've got different relationships with people, and we've always got to remember that. So you don't want to come across like a robot, like a machine. You've still got to bring you into the equation. And where we came up with this idea is, when I speak to Wilson, imagine if I had to send Wilson a voice note and say, "Hi, how are you keeping, Wilson? We haven't spoken for quite a while. I've come across something that I want to share with you, and I think this is very exciting, and you need to have a look at this." Wilson is he's going to burn me. He's going to message me back, and he's going to say, "What the hell's wrong with you?" Because the way I talk to Wilson, I'm like, "My brother, how's it hanging? How you doing, dude? Oh my goodness." That's the way we talk. So if you're sharing the business, talk to that person the way you always have spoken to them. What do you
Yes,
think of
Chris,
that?
you just nailed it there. You know, the way we communicate is different because we're brothers. We've known each other years. And I just quickly want to tell the story on the universal voice note because it was super, super profound.
Mhm.
Many years ago, I was in an opportunity. I generated leads online and I spoke to a whole bunch of people on WhatsApp. And what happened was, it was just too many people. It was like 20 people a day, and I started sending voice notes to them about my opportunity. And it was, I think, at day 3 or 4, I recorded that perfect voice note because I've like done it 50 times. And when I had that voice note, I knew I had something because I sent it to the person and they immediately wanted to sign up before even knowing what it was. And I was like, what just happened here? It felt like I discovered fire. And that week, I signed up 10 people directly for the first time in my career just because I found that nugget that kicked the door open. Now, how did I use it? I didn't just bombard people with that message. I first asked them how they're doing. I asked them where they are. And this is a very important part of the process. And I'm excited for you guys to try this and speak to your uplines, record these voice notes to them, and start refining this little minute clip to get people excited about what you're going to share. And what I found was if you send that voice note before you start sending stuff, people actually look at what you're sending because you're getting them excited. And why is that important? People need to hear your frequency. You can't type these messages because they can't hear the excitement in your voice. And one thing that I can say as well, don't even mention LifeWave, don't even mention X39. Create some urgency for them to find out more. And then your conversion rate for people to actually look at the content that you're sharing shoots through the roof. So yeah, I just wanted to very quickly share how I stumbled upon the universal voice note because it was profound. The moment I had that amazing clip that explained exactly with the right excitement and the right frequency, guys, I would send that voice note to people after building rapport and they were in. They didn't even know what they signed up for. They were like, come, let's go. And that's the ultimate goal with the universal voice note. So, Chris, take it away. I think it's important that we just start at the beginning. And yeah, I looked at your PDF quickly. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, building the rapport first and
Mm.
reconnecting with the people. That was the part that was missing, which is what we're going to touch on. But when we had lunch yesterday, the biggest thing was, okay, so we've got this step-by-step system, or should I say recipe to follow, plus minus. But where does it start? Who are you going to send this to? Now, it might sound like a broken record, guys. Name list. Name list. That is the first place that you start. So I'm just going to open up the sides here. There we go. And I just want to check. You can see that, eh?
Yes, it's perfect
All
there,
right.
buddy.
Ah, fantastic. All right. So what we're doing is we're sharing a step-by-step recipe with you. So I'm just going to go through the steps very quick, and then we're going to elaborate on each one. So the most important thing is the name list. So who are you going to be sending this information to? Then before we're talking about voice notes, we're talking about connecting with people. Now, right, oh, there we go. Right. So first you connect to the people, you've got to build that rapport, which we're going to touch on. But the biggest thing that we're going to be talking about tonight is the personal voice note, right? Now, very quickly, before I talk about the personal voice note, where did I learn the power of voice notes? It was about 4 years ago. I was in Cape Town and I met with a friend of mine, and we were going to a coffee shop in Kalk Bay. I'll never forget. And he said, I've got to speak to about, and he had it written down. He said, I'm just going to quickly connect with these 30 people while we quickly go and have breakfast. I looked at him and I thought, hang on a second, yeah. You're going to connect with 30 people while having breakfast. How on earth are you going to do that? Because I know in my world, if I'm going to talk to someone on the phone, we're looking at 10, 15 minutes per person. So in my world, that's 6 hours. How are you going to get this done while we're having breakfast? He said, voice notes. I go, say what? I'll never forget this as long as I live. He took his diary out. He opened it up and he had the 30 people. He picked up his phone and he sent a voice note. I'm talking 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds. And he got the point across. Next one. And he ticked it off. Next one. And he wrote a note behind it. He ticked it off. Guys, he got through those 30 people in like 45 minutes. And I thought, oh my goodness, I just learned something amazing. This is streamlining the process and saving time. Voice notes have got to be short. Still didn't do it yet. Why? Because I was self-conscious of my voice. That's why people don't do voice notes, because they say, my voice sounds funny. Guys, that's where I used to think until my kids, I was busy doing texts. My kids said to me, Dad, you are so old school. I mean, come on, you don't text nowadays, you do voice notes. And then they got me over that fear. anybody that knows me now knows me as what we call the voice note king, because I just, well, Wilson will agree with me. The only way we can communicate is on voice notes, as much as
It's
we
the
love
only
to
way we
chat.
talk. I hardly
Exactly.
ever phone you and vice versa. Because when I phone you in a meeting, so I send a voice note, and when you can reply, you reply. But you
Uh-huh.
touch on something that's very important, Chris. The time factor. It's going to take you a bit of time to record this voice note, but once you have it, you never need to do it again. And you never need to explain what you're doing again because you've now got the voice note. And that saves an incredible amount of time. So the process to create it takes a bit of time, but once you have it, it's done. And then it's just a matter of building the rapport correctly, connecting with them correctly, and then boom, it happens. Now, Chris, before we go on, in the first convention, the speech I made was connecting with people properly. Don't come across as you're trying to sell something. If you try and sell something to anyone, you lose them. We are giving people a gift. We are sharing something that can potentially extend their life, change their financial situation. This has been the biggest gift that's ever landed on my table, and I'm not selling it. This is something that I offer to people, and you ask 3 questions if you want to connect with people. How are you doing? People don't even ask me that. People try and get my attention in things. They send me links and they don't even ask me how I'm doing. If they ask me how I'm doing, I'll tell them I'm busy. I don't have time to speak to you. But they don't even do that. They just send information and expect me to engage. So that is how you connect with somebody. Hey, how are you doing? I haven't spoken to you in a while. Very, very important. And then keep quiet and wait till they respond. That's the most important thing. People just rush through this process, ask something and wait. That person might take 3 days to get back to you and have the
Mm,
posture to wait for it. Don't just
mm,
carry on in the process. You got to wait. Second question, how is everybody doing? Is everyone healthy? How's everybody's health? Is your family and friends healthy? You'll be surprised what people tell you when you ask that question. And then thirdly, how's things going at work or in your business? Because we can offer the solution in those 3 questions with LifeWave. And that's a big part of connecting with people. Before you even get to a universal voice note, if you haven't done that properly, the voice note's not going to work. The voice note is just a catalyst for them to say, wow, I want more info. But properly connecting with somebody first is the key to really kicking the door open. And then the voice note's like the cherry on top. That's like the
huh?
catalyst for them to go, boom, this is something I want to look at. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that as well.
No, brilliant. I'm looking forward to getting to point number 2 when we're going to talk about the connecting side first, which is absolutely vital. So I'm going to quickly go through this. Step number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's from the personal voice note, 3-minute clip. This is at info, dog testimony, Dr. Harmon, David Schmidt, 36-minute clip, testimonies, Telegram group, arrange a 3-way call or Zoom, send a recording of your favorite presentation, send a PDF, and send a powerful testimony. So this is a really snapshot in a nutshell, but we're going to break it down. So let's first start off with the name list. Now, Wilson and I, we were talking about that yesterday. You can Google it right now. Go into Google and ask Google or Meta AI, how many people, how many contacts does the average person, a guy's average person in the world have? 472 contacts on your phone. So when a person says, it's the funniest thing, Wilson, when the person joins and they go, okay, I want to get started, but they go, but I don't know anybody. And I'm kind of going, you listen, you haven't been living in a cave. You don't not know anybody. You're just too afraid to contact the people that you know. That's what you're actually saying. And this is how we're going to help you get over that fear, because you've got the average of 472 people. So it goes right back to, because we prejudge. Guys, we're human beings. We do it. It's natural. Oh, no, I don't want to share it with this person. He's too poor. He's too rich. He's too busy. He's too whatever, whatever. The moment you make that shift. Because trust me, the people that you think are going to do it are the ones that aren't going to do it. And the people that you think aren't going to do it are the ones that literally fly with it. Don't ask me how that happens. We've seen that over and over. So we just talk about, don't prejudge. If a person pops into your mind, put them on the list. Don't have any expectations on the outcome. Put the intent out there. And really quick, we'll share this PDF with everybody. So we're not going to go through it. But here's just what we call a memory jogger. And this comes from Eric Worre, which we're going to touch on a lot more in 2.5 weeks' time at the convention. Wilson has got some amazing stuff to share. So we're gonna keep everybody and in anticipation for that. But this is just the basics of making a name list. And guys, the most important thing, don't say, no, the name list is in my phone. Yes, we know it's in your phone. Get your pen and paper out. I don't know how to dress this more. This is your little magic wand in your hand. It's called a pen. And when you when you put pen on paper and you write a person's name down, magic happens. That's all I can tell you, because you're setting the intent. So I'm not going to elaborate too much on that. This is really simple, but you have to have this in place, because what we're going to talk about tonight, you have to have people to send it to. So this is where Wilson and I spoke a lot in detail yesterday, because we're talking about sending a voice note out to somebody about what we have to offer, what we're sharing with people. And then you might get people flaming you, going, whoa, hang on a second. Wilson just said, excuse me, what about saying hello first? You've got to connect with the people first. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because connecting with a friend before prospecting them for your business or your opportunity or your product is crucial. Crucial, I should have actually put in capital letters and bold. It is crucial, because what you're going to do first is you're going to, number one, you're going to reach out and catch up. Exactly what Wilson was talking about now. Number two, show genuine interest. In other words, how's work going? How's the family going? How's the kids doing? Wilson covered those three points. Finding common ground. Guys, this is like so important, because you're talking to your friends and your family. You've got something in common. So first, talk about, how are you? How are you doing? How's life treating you? And let me tell you, you ask a person, how's your health doing? How's your job doing? They're going to tell you. So that's where you get the nuggets on how you're going to approach this. Offering support or help with them, sharing a personal update, keeping it casual. Now, this is what I touched on right in the beginning. Exactly how I would speak to Wilson. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to get all formal, because this is what happens is, don't come across all salesish. Don't change. You've got to communicate with your friend the way you would always communicate. Using social media to connect, meeting up in person, maybe having coffee. Be authentic. Be authentic. Be yourself. Don't change. And, timing is absolutely everything. So here we're talking about connecting with your friend first. You've got to build rapport, strengthen your relationship, establish trust and rapport, create a positive and supportive environment, and increase the likelihood of a positive response to your business or your product. And remember, connecting with someone about building a relationship is not just about the sale or making a pitch. What would you say on that, Wilson?
Yes, now, Chris, you absolutely nailed it with that. This communication is the most important part of the process. I cannot stress it enough. If you ask people, how's it going properly? And I know this isn't easy for a lot of people. What I'd say is, if you struggle with this process, before you even thinking about talking to somebody about LifeWave, just reach out to 10 people you haven't spoken to in a while and just connect with them. Just ask them, hey, I haven't spoken to you in a while. How's it going? And just get into a habit to reconnect with some people. And then remember the 3 questions. And then at some point, somebody's going to tell you, yes, you won't believe it. My mom just had a stroke. Or somebody just broke their knee. Or I just I hate my job because my boss is not treating me properly. And guess what? We can offer LifeWave as the solution. So before you even get there, if you struggle to connect with people and speaking to people about LifeWave, leave LifeWave out for a second. Just start reconnecting with people and get into a habit to just connect with them properly and catch up with them. And you won't believe if you do that 10 times, a portion of those moments, there's going to be a gap where you'll be like, geez, it's not a coincidence that I got a hold of you. And that opens the door. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that. I know it's not easy for everybody to do this. And it's very easy for anyone just to connect with people before we even touch on LifeWave, because that is the crucial part. People don't buy products, they buy people. And that's very, very important.
Oh, completely. No, you nailed that to the wall. Um, you know, exactly what you said. What do we do with LifeWave? We're helping people on every level, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially, because we've got the solution for everything. So yeah, the connecting is vital, extremely vital. Right now, we can go to the next part. Now that we've covered the name list and saying hello, connecting first. Before we move on to that, I'm going to talk from some personal experience as well. I was chatting to somebody beginning of the year, I think it was about February, March, and we were doing some physical meetings, some physical presentations. And I noticed that the person was at the first presentation, then 2 days later was at the next presentation, 3 days later, same person was also at the presentation. And on day three, we were having coffee. And I said to her, I've noticed that you've been to three presentations. You haven't had any guests. Nobody has arrived. Um, have you invited people? She said, Chris, I've invited like 40 people, 50 people. Never mind not pitching. They haven't even replied to me. So I go, okay, no, listen, there's a thing that you call law of averages, okay? You have to get a response. She said nothing. So I said, if you don't mind me asking, what are you sending to the people? She goes, the invitation flyer. I said, okay. And I said, and what else did you send? No, that's all. I'm like, what? Said, give me your phone. So she gave me a phone. I had a look and I saw the invitation went out. But then you know what I did? I scrolled a little bit up and I saw that the last time the communication happened between these two people was 11 months ago. 11 months. And the person just sent an invite. I said, no wonder the person didn't reply to you. They probably double blue ticked you. She said, yes. And she said, what did I do wrong? I said, you forgot to say hello. And all of a sudden she said, oh my goodness gracious, I know what I've done wrong. Yes, exactly what Wilson's talking about. You forgot to connect first. You've got to connect before you can bring any type of business side into it. All right, so then we're talking about the personal voice note. As Wilson was saying, you're going to perfect it. Now, I want you to read the what do you call it, the first line very carefully. It says, tweak it and make it your own. Use your language, your personality, and your style, right? And then what I've kind of put here, you can change it however you want to. This is part of tweaking the recipe because what you do here is up to you. I've just put something in place here as a guideline. So yeah, so I'm just going to read it out very quickly. Hey, John, hope you're having a good day. Listen, just a quick one. I need to share something really exciting with you. In fact, I feel obligated to share this with you. Have you heard of X39 stem cell patches? It's a new technology that wakes up dormant stem cells. A friend of mine told me about this groundbreaking technology, which is helping people with pain, arthritis, cancer, brain fog, blood pressure, diabetes, migraines, asthma, Parkinson's, stroke, neuropathy, you name it. Because you might have been touching on something there they might relate to. They might have one of these issues, a family member, a colleague, a spouse, whatever. Now all of a sudden you've got their mind thinking, hang on a second, I know somebody that's got one of these related issues. And you just jump straight in. I'm going to send you a 3-minute video clip explaining the science behind this technology, together with a website. And you need to scroll down to the bottom, look at the doctor's reviews. You need to check out what this product is doing for animals. It is mind-blowing. Please take a couple of minutes to just check this information out. Let me know when you've watched it. This can literally change your life. I've got to run, chat soon. Now, in here, we've even put a sample of a voice note. And like I say, this is how you can completely change it and make it your own. Oh, wait, Lucinda's just walking here. She's jumping up and down here. Hang on a second. Hang on. Let me just bring Lucinda on. She's
Hello, my friend.
Okay, so what immediately stood out for me on this slide is, if you look at this is Chris to a T. This is how he talks. He is thorough. He will mention 6, 10, all the ailments, right? So here's where you need to look at this and say, how do I make it my own? How do I speak to people, right? How do I address them? And also, ladies, we talk differently to the guys as well. So take that into consideration. You might say things like, hi, my dear, how are you, my friend? And touch on, like Wilson said, a few personal things first, right? And then you can elaborate a bit more. So there was something else that I wanted to, that was popped up. But just to show that this is exactly how Chris talks. So you need to find and tweak and adjust it and make it your own. Add more, say less, and find your rhythm and the way that you naturally, authentically speak to people so that it can come across as genuine. And that way you connect.
Yeah, absolutely love
awesome.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda.
And just
There's
another
something
note
I
that
want to
I have.
add with her. Don't sound like you're reading it off a page.
Yes.
Like, don't type this out and sound like you're reading it. It needs to come from the heart. I mean, when Chris read that, you could feel it because he wrote it and it came from his heart. And this is what this is about. We're working with light and frequency patches. People need to hear your excitement and your frequency. So I just wanted to add that.
That is very, very true. And that's the other secret, is practice this. Like you said, Wilson, you got it right after doing it 50, 100 times over. In that sweet spot is where the magic happened. You were on frequency, you were in flow, everything was like 100%. Then you get that perfect combination of everything, and do it over and over and over. And the other beautiful thing about this, if you do it 50, 100 times, then, and that's where most of us are now, you can stop us. You can wake me up in the middle of the night and I can give you my elevator speech, because I have spoken it so many times. I can literally do it in my sleep. Practice makes perfect. You will get your rhythm, you will get your way of saying it, you will find, and also the what is it called? The sequence that can change, right?
Yes.
You don't have to do it exactly like this. This is just a guideline. It's just an idea. It's just, how can we help you guys build the confidence, grow, expand, learn, so that this can come naturally.
No, I just want to add something to
Thank
that.
you.
Lucinda, you nailed something so right there. Guys, the right person, if you built rapport correctly, you sent them the voice note at the right note, and you send them that 3-minute video, and this is at info, the guy might be in already, and he'll tell you. You might not even get to level 13, but you need to do the first steps properly. We just added 13 levels because some people need to look at it 12 times before they pull the trigger. But the right person, you might send them, this is at info, they'll get back to you half an hour later. And because you did the steps correctly, they're in. So
That's it.
again,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
guideline. And I absolutely loved what Lucinda said there. It's the most important thing. It needs to sound authentic. It needs to sound authentic.
And also, very important, when you're doing a voice note, guys, stand up. Stand up. Because you're talking from your bottom of your lungs. People can feel it. because it's different when you've crouched down. So very important. And you're breathing. So you're breathing properly. So there we go. That's on the voice note. But then like what Wilson was saying now, we're going to send the next thing straight afterwards. So basically, so straight after the voice note, straight after sending it, you're going to send this. You're going to send the 3-minute clip. Now, Wilson and I spoke about this yesterday as well. We were talking about how much money do you think LifeWave spent on putting this 3-minute clip together? Guys, this is world class. This is world class. This is one of the most professional video clips I have seen in a long time. And it covers everything in 3 minutes. Yeah, it's a 3-minute video clip done absolutely beautifully, and it covers every aspect, and it brings the business side in very, very subtly. Okay, then going into step number 5 is this is it info. Guys, this website is a wealth of knowledge. If you haven't been on it, just spend a bit of time on this website. This is it info.com. Doesn't touch on the business at all. All it talks about is the technology, the science, how X39 works, David Schmidt's video clips, doctors' reviews. You got to go down to the bottom and see the doctors' reviews. But then also on this website, if you have a look at this picture here, all the patents, clinical trials, and case studies are there. And guys, when I talk about the science, everything is there. So the skeptical people that are the researchers that want to know everything, well, there it is. There's hundreds of pages for people to read. And then testimonies as well. So yeah, this is an absolute wealth of info. And then straight after this, you send the 1-minute clip of Hoplup the dog. This is probably the most popular dog in South Africa at the moment. It's becoming famous. This 1-minute video clip, if you guys haven't seen it, absolutely mind-blowing, where this little dog's legs were paralyzed, got onto the patches. 4 days later, the little dog was bouncing around. It's a 1-minute video clip, but very, very powerful. And you're probably thinking, all right, why do you want to send a video clip of a dog? To remove any skepticism of a person thinking that this is mind over matter and placebo. Because people might have a look and say, oh, humans lie. But guess what? A little dog can't. You can't tell a little dog, hey, put this patch on and this is what it's going to do. The dog's not going to go, no, it's not going to do this. So the 3 things are very important. Now, sending just the website on its own, what I found is battle to get a person to have a look at a website. So, but if you're sending that 3-minute video clip first, all right, then the website address, then you're sending this testimony. So you've got the website sandwiched in the middle. It's going to spur the person to want to have a look at the website. What are your thoughts on that, Wilson?
Oh, definitely. I've found in many cases, if it's the right person and I've done this process correctly, I literally send them the 3-minute video clip, that this is an info website and pop up. And I actually stop it right there. And if it's the right person, they're like, okay, cool. How do we do this? So, spot on. Again, guys, this is just a framework of what you can do. But the biggest mistake that people make, and sorry for this phrase, people vomit onto people. And because we've got so much information that we want to share, guys, it's the quickest way you're going to lose someone. And this, what we're showing you here now, is the step-by-step way on how you don't do that. Because ultimately, you can push somebody away. And that might be the person that could set you free. And just by tweaking what you're doing and being a bit more strategic and being patient and being quiet and waiting for their response, it's the secret. You can sometimes wait a week for somebody to get back to you, and that's okay. Stop. Like, wait till they get back before you send another thing. And I love that. Absolutely love that.
What I want to add here is read the person that you're sending it to. Are they somebody that just wants something quick and fast and very minimalistic? Or are they somebody that might enjoy the studies? and the testimonies or things like that. So connect, like if I was this person, what would I want to receive? What makes them tick? What is their personality type? Do they have a lot of time, or am I going to bore them, or is this overloading them? So that's just a nugget there.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad she
That's
said
great on
that,
the,
Chris,
the
because
vomiting. Mhm.
yeah, that's so spot on. If you need to pace a person, some people, you just send them one thing. You're like, hey, I want to send you a 3-minute clip, and then wait. Other people, they might be eager for a lot of info, then you can hit them with a couple things. So gauge a person where they're at and with who they are. I think that's very, very important.
Completely. And then this is where we give it that pause. So then straight after the dog clip, I normally give it about 30 minutes. If I haven't got a reply yet in about 30, 45 minutes, then I send this. Now, this is probably one of the most informative clips about LifeWave X39 in the shortest time frame. But the nice thing is, guys, it comes from a doctor. So it's so funny. When I uploaded this clip, it's got the most views on my channel. It's got 4,500 views. Why? Because it's got the word DR in front of his name. Now, there's something weird where a person will watch this, because if I just put there John Harmon, you probably have half the views. So this just gives it credibility because it's coming from a doctor. I love this clip. And thank you, Sandy Feast, for telling me that this is one of your favorite clips. And after I watched this, I messaged Sandy and I said, oh my word, I know what you mean. And that's why we share this quite often, because John covers it in a nutshell in 9 minutes. Once a person's watched this, they've got a very good idea of what this is all about. And then this is the part, guys, where the discipline needs to come in. This is where you've got to wait for the reply. The man who speaks first is the one that's lost. So don't speak first. This is where it's that intense moment where you go, and as Wilson said, it might take 2, 3, 4 days, but zip it at this point, because here is where your mind is going. I want to send this, I want to send that, I want to send this, maybe part of the convention, and maybe let me send this clip over here by Dr. Stacy, and this one over here by Jen O'Sullivan, and I'm going to send another one of David Schmidt, and another, oh, let me get one of Stephen Gina, and let me send the one of Harvey and Old. This is all going on in your head, and you end up sending 5, 10, 15, 20 messages, and the person's going, whoa, way too much. Guys, it's called drip feeding. You guys have heard me speak about this before. Anybody that might be hearing this for the first time, what is drip feeding? You go to hospital and you've got to get a drip put in you, right? So they put the drip in and you've got this bag of liquid, whatever it is, saline liquid with whatever. If you had to take that bag, that drip, and squeeze it into the body in 5 minutes, you can potentially kill the person. Okay, I'm not saying if we give too much information, we're going to kill somebody, but but that's the vomiting thing. You've got to regulate it. You've got to drip feed. And this is where the drip feeding comes in. So what you got to do is you see the nurse, they turn that little wheel and it goes drip, drip. And that whole bag of liquid will go into your body in a 6 to 8 hour period. That's what drip feeding means, because you've taken a pause, right? Now, once the person engages with you, now, this is so important, because now when a person engages, guess what? They're now giving you permission to send more information. Never send more info until the person asks you for more info, because now they're giving you permission to send more info. Now, have you noticed we started off with little 3 minute, 1 minute, then we went to 9 minutes. Now we go to 36 minutes because the person's already watched little bits in increments. You send a 36-minute clip first, it's too much info. But now if I ask for info, now they're ready to watch a 36-minute clip. And this one is brilliant by David Schmidt, where he talks about the technology in 36 minutes. So when you guys get the PDF, look, I've already put the link. There's the link. The link, so everything I'm sharing with you guys, the link is right there. All you got to do is click on it. It's there. So everything is there at your fingertips. Let me reverse back. Anything you want to add there, Wilson?
No, I love that video. I've watched it many, many times, and you're absolutely right. You can't send people an hour presentation on first contact. People don't look at it.
Yeah.
In general, people don't really look at any video after 5 minutes. And the only time you're going to get them to look at a 36-minute clip is if you've had posture in waiting, not sounding desperate, and waiting for that person to say, wow, yes, I need to see more. And then only you can hit them with a 36-minute clip. And I tell you now, if you did that properly, they're going to watch the whole 36 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's very, very important. In many cases, dependent on the person, I might not even send that clip because it's very high level. So also gauge the person. You can maybe swap that with a really good presentation, like the one Chris did recently. Or Sandy Afshield also had done a brilliant presentation. And that is the moment where you share something long. After you got them to watch a couple short videos and you waited until they said, wow, I want more. If you don't do that correctly, people aren't going to watch a 36-minute video. It doesn't work like that.
Completely. It would be the same as sharing a trailer versus a movie. You sell the trailer, not the movie. So imagine if I come to you and I say, hey, my brother, have you watched so-and-so movie? And you say, yes, hey, Chris, I did watch it. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's got this actor in, this one in. And what they do is they hijack a train. And then from there, they put explosives. And then they know that main actor that from that other movie. Well, guess what? You're not going to believe it. He actually dies. He actually dies in the movie. Can you believe it? And then this is what happens. And this is how it ends. I'm going to look at you and say, thank you, buddy. You've actually just destroyed that movie for me. Am I going to go watch it? No, because you've just ruined it for me. But if you gave me the trailer and you just said 3 or 4 little points, then I'll go watch the movie. Don't destroy it, the trailer, not the movie. So then we go straight to step number 9 here. Guys, use the testimonies only Telegram group to send to prospects. There's nothing wrong with doing that because you know what's going to happen. But tell them it's not a chat group, it's a testimony only group. Have a look at this. Over 700 testimonies and mention it, guys. You've got to write this down or type it before you send this. Because by sending what you're going to send now makes the person want to join it. It's got 700 plus testimonies in 140 categories. Here's the link. You're more than welcome to go and have a look for yourself. Very, very powerful. Because once a person goes there to have a look, they might find something that is relevant to them. And then, so now after that, and they've been engaging with you, this is the next step that you want to do. You want to organize or arrange a 3-way call or a private Zoom call. And this is either with messaging or chatting with the person. What you're going to do is you're going to send a personalized message or chat information. Start with a friendly greeting or introduction. Briefly explain the purpose of the call. I'd like to get you on a call for X, Y, and Z. I'd like you to meet my colleague in the business, Wilson. We've been working together for over a year. I'd love you to meet Wilson. Share the Zoom link and the details. And then also be clear with this call to action. So in other words, tap on the link to join and let me know if you can make the call. That really, really basic Zoom etiquette, if you want to call it. And be on the call. Yeah, Lucinda just said, very important. Be on the call. Very important. And I can see Sandy nodding her head there. Yeah, be on the call. You're not going to. Yeah, you're not going to invite a person out for dinner. You don't pitch. Same thing. Very important. Then, okay,
And be 5 minutes early for your own call. That's
yes.
very, very important. You don't let people wait, and
Yeah.
you start that call on the minute that you said
Yes.
you're going to start it. Because people are
Correct.
busy.
Yeah.
You late for your own call, you lost them.
Ooh.
So very, very important.
Thank you for that reminder. Very good point there. All right, then if you're on the phone call with somebody, you just start with your normal introduction, greeting. Okay, this is what I want to talk to you about. The purpose for the call is to discuss the product or the business, depending on which direction it's gone. I want to share the Zoom link of the meeting because you're doing this verbally, right? Answer any questions that they might have. And any questions that you cannot answer, say that will be answered on the Zoom call. Or if it's something that you don't know the answer, guys, don't be afraid that a person is going to ask you a question that you don't know the answer to, because that also scares people. Me, personally, if I don't know the answer to something, I'm going to say, I don't have a clue. Don't have a cooking clue. But guess what? I'll find out for you. People don't have a problem with that. It's being honest and upfront. Don't try and bullshit people and make stuff up because people smell that a mile away. Just if you don't
Chris,
know, tell them
I
you
have
don't.
to add something there. So me and Desiree went to go speak to a doctor. And amazing doctor. She's got a clinic and does all sorts of treatments like laser lipo and a whole bunch of stuff. And she asked me, what's in the patch? Like, what's the ingredients? And my honest response to her is, I don't care. I've never looked at the ingredients. I don't care what's in there. I patched my mom, and 45 minutes later, she was out of pain. And then I was like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, but I can send you to the information. And because you are a doctor, go look at the clinical trials. But she loved my honesty. I tell her, like, I don't know what's in there. I honestly don't care what's in the patch. I can see what it's doing for people. And be honest. Don't suck it like don't suck an answer out of your thumb. If you don't know, say, hey, I don't know. I can find out for you. Or like I handled it there and she loved it. Like she kind of chuckled. I was like, I don't care what's in these patches. Look at me. Look at the smile on my face. And she kind of giggled and I mean, this was a doctor. So yeah, I just wanted to share that as well.
Thank you. And you know what? It's your enthusiasm and your excitement that that carries the weight. So I'm glad you touched on that. So there you go. So if you can't get a person onto a Zoom call or a three-way call for some reason, then don't step back and go, oh, okay, I'm done, I've lost. Sorry, Wilson, Chris, couldn't get the person on a Zoom, can't get them on a three-way call. I'm never going to talk to them again. It's done. No, just because the person can't do that, you go to step number 11. If you can't arrange a call or a Zoom call, send them a recording of the presentation. Now you're at the point where you can do that because you already got this far. So the chances are they're going to watch this clip. This is like between 50 minutes and an hour. And you know what? That's one that I did 2 weeks ago. There's one that Sandy Ashfield did last week. These are the latest ones. That's why I've put these recordings, because these are the latest version of the presentation. You know what? You might not like the sound of my voice. You might not like the sound of Sandy's voice. You know what? Maybe choose the one that Carla did last week, or the one that Bridget did last week, or the one that Sandy Feast did. So there's a whole variety. That's why we have different presenters, because also, you know the personality of the person you're going to be sending the clip to. So you're going to know, I don't think the person's going to like Chris, but guess what? They're going to like Sandy. So send Sandy's one, and then maybe vice versa. Is it a male? Is it a female? That type of thing. That's why we have a variety. So then you send the recording of the presentation. Straight after the recording of the presentation, send the PDF of the presentation. Now, let me tell you why. Because they might go, oh, no, I want to watch this, but then they get busy. But if you send them the PDF, they might quickly click on it. Guys, look at what I've written there at the bottom in red, and I've made it stand out in red. Pictures speak 1,000 words. All it takes, yep, there's Sandy nodding her head, yep. It just takes one picture to get their attention, and they go, what am I looking at over there? Now the person is fully engaged. Then give it a bit of time. If they've what do you call it? If they're engaging already and saying, okay, wow, I like what I see, how do I get involved? You're already there. So you don't have to worry about step 13. This is if the person has not engaged properly yet. So you're still trying to give that little bit of, you're still drip feeding a little bit, right? This is a testimony that I send. Now, what I'm sharing with you guys, I've done to a T. I have followed these exact steps and the exact clips, and I have not deviated. So I'm sharing with you what I've done. And guess what? Every person I've done this with have signed up. No questions asked. They've joined. So, I mean, listen, I would never, ever, ever advise a person to do something unless I've done it myself. That's one thing that you'll know about me. I talk the talk and I walk the walk. If I say, try this, it's because I've done it myself. If I say, don't do this, there's a reason I'm saying don't do it, because I've done it and I made the mistakes and it's costing me. Paid up front.
So we're trying to speed up the process so you don't make the mistakes we've made, because believe you me, we've made many mistakes in this process, but mistakes are good, you learn. Yes, I want to touch on something here with the testimony. So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I did a training with my team about follow-up. Now, this is 13 steps. I want to give you a statistic. 2% of people pull the trigger on first contact.
2%.
98% of people only pull the trigger after the first contact. 48% of people don't follow up, and they're missing out on 98% of the business.
Wow. Wow.
That's. Now, I want to tell you a story about a friend I signed up. He's a really big networker. As I found LifeWave, I hit him. I'm like, buddy, you need to look at this. You need to look at this. Never got back to me, read my messages, never replied, and I didn't stop. Once a month, I would share the most powerful testimony that's happened in that month. Never replied. 18 months later, 18 messages later, he phones me out the blue. He's like, send me your link. I'm ready to sign up. You're claiming it platinum.
What?
18 months later.
18 months.
18
Wow.
months later.
Wow.
So just understand something. The people that I'm after, I'm not going to leave them until they tell me no. If they don't say no, I'm going to keep sending them stuff. But I did it once a month.
Once a
I
month.
wasn't hard up for his business. Yes, George might disagree with me. He would have probably done it once a week. But with him, like, he wasn't interested. He wasn't showing any interest. But every month, because I wanted him in my business, I sent him the most powerful testimony that I could find. 18 messages later, 18 months later, he just messaged me out the blue. He's like, send me your link. I'm ready. So the secret
Wow.
sauce is the follow-up, guys. If you don't follow up with people, you're losing out on 98% of the business. 98% of it. And
That's
this
a
is
slide.
this is only 13. This is only 13 steps. With some people, it might be 25. With other people, it might be 2. It depends on the person. So just stay consistent. And it's so funny if you do that, people take you seriously after a year if you've sent them stuff. I'm like, geez, like I must now start looking at this thing, this guys, and stopping, especially the people that we want. So yeah, I just wanted to add that as well.
I'm glad you touched on that, and I want to take it to the next slide and then quickly let Lucinda talk. The testimonies, I love that you brought that in. We didn't even talk about this. Is sending every month a testimony. Oh, that is so powerful, because this is the one that I start with. Let me tell you, I've watched a lot of testimonies, and there's just something so emotional about this testimony. I don't know if it's maybe because I actually took this recording. I was sitting in the audience, and I personally took this recording of this man on the stage, and I met this man, and my goodness gracious, to think what this product did for this man in 24 hours, $100 versus $100,000. And people read the thumbnail: cancer, diabetes, neuropathy, shingles, near leg amputation. People read that. It gets a person's attention. Once they've watched this, they go, wow. If they're not into acting, like what you just said, 18 messages. And then this is what we were bringing in, my brother, is the follow-up, those statistics that you gave. And that just links in to the PRO strategy. So PRO strategy is patch, revisit, and opportunity. Revisit, well, patch means sharing. All we've covered is 13 steps up to the sharing of the patch. So we've just gone a few levels down, building it up to the P. So we follow the strategy of this is it. This is a team. We've just done 13 levels to the P. And then the R, revisit, is number 14, which is follow up. And then into the opportunity in the product. And then you can go onto the website, guys. This is a team.com. Let me tell you, the resources there are absolutely mind-blowing. What Steve and Gina have done, I mean, you guys, maybe some of you that don't know, the team that we belong to is the biggest and fastest growing team in the whole of LifeWave. And we have the honor and privilege to be in this fastest growing team, which is absolutely amazing. So all the tools are in place. So there we go. So that's what we've covered. That is the that's basically the 14 steps. Like I say, that's making your cake. And guys, tweak it as much as you want to. I see Lucinda's got something quite important she wants to share here.
Thanks, God, that I can just jump in. It's so much fun.
I love that. I love
this
this.
unplanned.
This is how
This
the
is
training's supposed to
unplanned.
be.
I told her
I
to
love
sit
it.
at the desk and keep quiet and watch, but she
It's
keeps
really,
bouncing.
And just to go one step back as well and touch on the fact of follow up. Follow up, follow up, follow up. It's the magic lies with the follow up. And I think there was 1 or 2 questions in the chat. Once people connect and engage, you've basically got them hooked. If you have to sit there all day long, every day to wheel them in, they have a million questions. You answer them. That is like sitting on gold. Dig.
Yeah.
Get that fish in. Explain to them over and over. Find out what it is that they want to know so that you can help them. You've got a person that's interested. You've got a fish on the hook. So, and it might take a little bit longer. We want to sign them up there and then, but it's a process on their side still, and they might want to feel that they want to build a relationship with you. They want to find out, tick all their boxes, put yourself in their shoes, that kind of thing. Somebody else commented also about just the cost. So this is what I can honestly say. In the beginning, I came up against that, but more sort of because I come from retail, I was used to people saying, how much does this cost? What is this dress? And can I buy it now? So I came from that energy where I felt I needed product to sell. I wanted a price, and I wanted you to ask me how much it is, so I can give you a price and sell it, retail, right? So I had to unlearn that. Then I also came up against the objection of, what's the cost? It's the first thing people ask. And it shook me in the beginning. And then I looked at it, and this is something I want to share with the community as well. Any objection that come your way, anything that you're up against in life in general, but specifically with LifeWave, because it's a spiritual business and we're all here to grow and expand, what you came up against is what is mirroring directly back to you. So that is your challenge. That is where you need to learn. That is where you need to expand. That is where your growth is going to happen. And then I thought to myself, they can ask the question. Doesn't mean I have to answer them directly straight away. I'm not avoiding it, but this is different. So I can't just tell them outright, this is the price. I need to explain and give them background before I can give them a price. So I'm not hiding it. I'm just finding my own way to share. In the minute I tweaked it, it was far more acceptable both sides. And I overcame that. Now it's not something that comes up anymore. Now it's not a question that I experience at all. That's like the last thing people ask, because I've dealt with it, I've moved through it, I've processed it, and it's not something that I am reflecting as well. A lot of time we think, oh, this is so expensive, people can't afford it. People can afford it, and we've seen it. And you will build up your it's not tolerance, your confidence in it and your believability in it as you grow and as you expand. So always know that if you come up against an objection, it's often for you to mirror back and learn from that. And then just lastly, and then I'll leave you to it and not interrupt again. Are we still on time? Back to chocolate cake. Once again, look at your own personality. Look at how you do things in life. This is just a basic recipe. But for most of us, we would start out with the basics, try and perfect it, test the standard recipe. And then from there, when you feel confident, I can bake a chocolate cake that my family likes with a basic icing in a basic oven, and it comes out foolproof every time, right? Then I will experiment and introduce salted caramel or ganache, and 6 layers and cream topping and black forest into the standard formula of my chocolate cake, right? So give yourself space and time to make the mistakes. I'm going to make a flop of the cake. The first time the salted caramel is going to be too salty, Give yourself room to just be in the messiness of trying to figure this out. Give yourself the opportunity to just play and get those no's, right? Another thing that we picked up a while ago, and now it's a household joke, is like the only reason Chris is earning more than Wilson or anybody else is because he got more no's. So say yes to the no's. Bring on, come on, no's.
Yeah. Get excited for the no's,
Yes.
because you're that one step closer to get the yes. And it's the most important thing. Guys, if you're not going to take the nose on your chin, you're going to struggle, because it's the 80-20 rule. Yes, there's people that will immediately come in when you say one sentence, but 8 people might bat you before you get to that person. So get excited when somebody says no, and don't be offended. Take them where they are, say thank you for their time, and get excited because you're closer to a yes. So, yeah, what an incredible session, Chris. Thank you for inviting me. I think we touched on really, really important points.
Big time,
And
big time,
thank
big
you for
time.
the opportunity, my friend. I love you lots.
I love what Lucinda said as well, talking about the price. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because just to give you a bit of perspective. Now, guys, in life we've got to compare apples with apples, not apples and bananas, because what we've got in our hands, right? What we've got over here is different. Capital letters D. It's different. It's just not vitamin C that you're buying off the shelf in the pharmacy, right? This is different. You cannot get this anywhere else. But guys, what are we comparing this with? I want you to think very carefully. The only thing you can compare this with is a stem cell injection, as we know, right? Now, up until 4.5 years ago, before this baby over here was launched, the only way you could do it is by getting stem cell injections. You've heard, Harvey, it cost them $22,000 to go to Mexico twice to get traditional stem cell injections, and it didn't work. But this puppy, for $100, it worked. Now, I just want to tell you, I was doing a presentation in an area called Krugersdorp, that's in the west of Johannesburg, about a month ago. And I was doing the presentation, and I got to the pricing. And this is very important, guys, the pricing. I said, right, we're comparing it to stem cell injections. I said, did you know that a series of stem cell injections costs $10,000? We're talking about 200,000 Rand. And this guy in the audience put his hand up. He said, sorry, can I correct you? And I thought, oh, this is embarrassing. I'm in front of like a whole lot of people. I said, can't you wait till the end? He says, no, I need to talk to you about it now. I'm like going, okay, correct me then. And I thought, yikes, what am I going to hear now? He says, Chris, it's actually 357,000 Rand for a series of stem cell injections. I said to him, how do you know that? He says, my wife is busy with the process now. I said to her, how's it working? He said, it's not. So there we go, guys. That's what we've got to compare with. Guys, this product is so cheap. It is so well priced for what this product does. This is a drop in the ocean from a price point of view. And it's just all about putting it into perspective. So I'm glad we covered that towards the end. And
Chris, I need to add something there. You touched on the most important part there. what this product costs and what it does,
Nice. Oh,
guys,
man. Man, oh,
guys,
man.
they could have charged
Yes.
20,000 Rand a month supply. I would have still bought it if I had the money, just because of what this product does for people. Now, I just want to touch on the price objection quickly. My parents, when they got started with the patches, they couldn't afford them. So what my mom did was she put on a patch, she wore it for 10 to 12 hours, she took it off, she gave it to my stepfather, he wore a second-hand patch, and they alternate who wears a new patch. That means it cost them 1,200 Rand a month. Guys, 1,200 Rand a month is not money. My kids come visit me on a Friday. I go to Pick and Pay just to buy food for 2 days. It's 2 grand. If you can't spend 1,200 Rand, in worst case scenario, if you stretch your sleeve over 2 months, I need to show you how the business side of this works because you need extra money. Because that is not expensive. If I look at supplementation and vitamins, people are spending thousands of rands a month on that. And to see what this does for people, guys, look at my hair. Look at my skin. Every wrinkle in my face is gone. My hair, I've been bald since the 90s. Guys, like my hair's growing back. I'm going to have a fringe at the end of the year. If you cannot spend 1,200 Rand a month on your health, let me come show you how to do business. Because, yeah, we're helping people. And money can't be the objection, yeah. It's how you posture it when you speak to people, and it's raising your belief level to a level where you have the posture. Why does Chris have more posture than me? Because he's been more serious about it than me. I only got serious 6 months ago. Why is Chris making more money than me? He's had more no's. But I mean, the reality of it is you only develop posture over time. And plugging into our Zooms, even if you've listened to a presentation 100 times, you'll hear somebody's story, you'll get a nugget. And this is very important. Price is not an objection here. And that's the way how you handle it. So that's pretty much it from me, Chris. It's pretty much it from me.
You've left me speechless. Wow. 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 Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Absolutely well said. You know, what price can you put on it? And it all comes with a posture, and people can pick it up. They can, you know what? When the product is done for you, what it's done, it automatically gives you the confidence. Automatically. I mean, look at me. Look, anybody
No,
that
look at
knows
you,
me,
bro.
yeah, anybody that knows me from 20 months ago, you know how many people are asking me, am I dyeing my hair? I'm like, guys, I've never touched dye in my hair before. Where the gray
You
would
look
disappear.
15 years younger.
I know, dude.
15 years younger.
Look at
And
this.
I don't
Look at
see you
this.
too much. It's
Look
so
at that.
sad. Like I don't see you often enough. Every time I see you, you're getting younger. Every single time. Desiree Skitter, same
Yeah.
story. Same piece. I don't see you guys enough. When I see you guys, I smile because you absolutely aging backwards.
Tell
And
me about
this
it.
is the power of what we have. So, guys, thank you very, very much. And Chris, I gotta run. I need to do my last meeting. It's been 9 for the day. And yeah, I gotta run. Lots of
Me
love for
too.
you guys. I really, really hope this kicked open a couple doors, and looking forward to the 24th. Guys, you need to come to the convention. What Chris and Lucinda is putting together, the training that's going to be shared there, it's going to explode your business. And if you are in Joburg, you got to be there. And if you can afford it, you got to come. The growth that happened since I had a bunch of my people at our last convention has been absolutely crazy, and we're doing it every 3 months. So yeah, very excited about that. Can't wait to share with you guys some more nuggets on this process. But yeah, just keep plugging in and raising your own posture and belief within this, and the sky's the limit.
Completely. Catch and raise your frequency. And that's what we're going to be talking about in 2.5 weeks. So, guys, from my side, Wilson, my brother, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Love you to bits. Lucinda, thank you, my angel, for your input. Completely unplanned. We just roll with it. We just roll with it, which is so beautiful. So thank you, my brother. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out. I know tomorrow is a public holiday. Sleep in, guys. Have fun and stay safe. Love you all. See you on the Zooms.
Cheers,
Night,
everybody.
everybody. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.